me, your holistic nutrition gal, Luka Simmons, checking in with you as I like to do at the first of every month. Happy to be landing in your inbox and really happy to be able to connect with you again. I hope that everything is going well in your world and that you are carving some time out for yourself in this winter and hibernating season. Although I have to tell you that here in the Netherlands, where my husband and I moved last summer, the daffodils are out. They've been out for almost 2 weeks now. Can you believe it? I checked in with my garden friends. I volunteer at a community garden here once a week. And I checked in with them last week and I said, for real? Like daffodils show up in January? And I was assuaged and told, no, they're a bit early this year. They usually don't come until about the middle of February. So there is something weird going on in the environment, I think. But anyway, just so you know, I think they're going to go back in hiding because the cold is for sure going to come back. Anyway, hello, nice to see you. As always, I'm sharing a little bit about what is coming up live here that I do on my own and as one half of Histamine Haven as well. Also going to be talking about what's happening in the Good Food Network this month. And then we're going to wrap things up today with a little nugget that you can implement into your life, a little challenge, if you will, to tie into what it is we're doing in the network and in my classes. Because I want to make sure that everybody is able to get some good ideas to move forward so their bodies can function and well, so that they can participate in this world. Because, honey, we need you. We need everybody in this world. So let's start with upcoming events. I have 2 live classes coming up this month. The first one is happening on Tuesday, February 18th. We are doing a big dive, the Histamine Connection. That's over at Histamine Haven. We do one a month, and this month we're actually focusing on pain. So in this class, we dive in to help you uncover how histamine is connected to your symptoms. And this month we're really focusing on the pain. So we're talking about that, the chronic pain, that deep pain, the pain with endometriosis, PMDD, PMS. We're also going to touch on pain with chronic joint pain, TMJ pain. We also get into the pain with some of those big complex diagnoses like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic, chronic pain, complex chronic pain. I don't know. There's a whole name for it. These names, I just think, yeah, are you in pain? Is it all the time and kind of never goes away? Oh, honey, let's get you some relief. Do you know that histamine can be behind the driving of some of these symptoms? So if you're ready to look at a different way to get some relief to support the methods you've already put in place, then you better join us. It's a free class. It's going to be link number 1 just below. And really, it's a free class. Yeah, we tell you about some solutions for those who really want help to implement the solutions, but we have a bunch of free solutions at the end of it too. So it's for everybody. So if you struggle with pain, consider joining us at the Histamine Connection that's coming up on Tuesday, February 18th. Next, after that, the following day, as a matter of fact, I'm running a class on the 19th of February. It's a Wednesday morning. And this one is called SOS Mood and Anxiety. So this is where we're going to be exploring how stress and adrenal health can affect how you feel. P.S. There's also a histamine potential component sometimes, especially in the picture of anxiety. But I digress. Anyway, we're going to be diving into this topic, mood and anxiety, and learning what it is that those practices you can put in place so that you could do something about it. So if you're the person who's been feeling wired and tired, or you've got anxiety kind of mounting, then these classes are going to be a really great way to start untangling your symptoms. Do you know there's so many reasons. I don't just willy-nilly pick these classes and put them together. There's a lot of thought that goes into this. Do you know that the winter season, from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, the winter season is the season where we look after the kidneys. That's the main organ of the season. Do you know what sits atop the kidneys? The adrenals. Do you know what is the main emotion that is tied with kidneys? It is the emotion of fear. Aha, what if you understood that fear, the main emotion from the kidneys, is perhaps one of the reasons why we have a little bit more anxiety into these winter months? Could it be that you are expressing and kind of amplifying what is naturally kind of sometimes underground there at this time of year? We're going to be talking about all of that in that SOS mood and anxiety class. So if this is of interest to you, we're going to help you untangle the symptoms and really put those pieces in place. So I hope you can join me there. That's going to be link number 2 below this video. Further to that, I want to give you an update on the Good Food Network. Good Food Network, I've been running for almost, we're into year 3 now, which is kind of exciting. Our topic this month is the adrenals. We always do 2 months. This is the second month on adrenals. The doors are open at any time, so anybody can join us whenever you want to. Doors are forever open. And it's the kind of place where you put together your own list of what it is you need to work on based on the content that I share. And this month, as part of the adrenals, we are continuing this deep dive, and we're putting in those practical strategies to nourish your adrenals and to really help restore that balance. There's always recipes, resources, tools that you can use right away, content to help you identify how it is that your adrenals are asking for help. And they all tie in, all of this ties in so beautifully to that SOS mood and anxiety class. So if you're in the network, you actually get that class included, but there's a lot more available at your fingertips. In fact, we're going to talk about the gut and adrenal connection this month. We'll be diving into magnesium. We'll be diving into roots and shoots and those level 400 herbs and things you can put in place to support your adrenals. And we'll be talking about 3 essentials for adrenal health that often get overlooked and people don't necessarily talk about. So we're going to be knocking things out of the park all month long, helping you put the pieces of the puzzle back together to help support your body come back holistically to that center that she's aiming for. So that's going to be link number 3 below. Take yourself through the link I've got there, gives you a deep dive into what you can expect. It's also meant to help you figure out if you're the person that will do well in this Good Food Network. And there's a link, of course, to register and join us at any time. Doors are always open. Okay. So I wanted to touch in a little bit too in this newsletter that some of these themes that I'm seeing resonating throughout my clientele. I've had such wonderful conversations of late, and it's just this really brilliant position to be in, to be on the receiving end and listening in to people sharing their stories and being upfront about what their struggles are. And so many of my clientele that I've been working with are really struggling with so many different things, but you know that the one common piece to everything is adrenals. And something that I'm seeing is this sense of, am I doing enough? And can I get more? And can I understand more? Can I start to I have these worries, these concerns. I need to do more of this restriction. And it becomes this micromanaging and this coming, do you know what I mean? Like it's zeroing in and micromanaging of things. And in each and every single conversation I've had in the last month, I don't know how many times I've said this. And if you're a client, you know we've had this conversation where I say, how is this serving you? Tightening the reins, going smaller on the foods you can tolerate, just reducing and taking more foods out and just going narrower and walking a more narrow path. Are you feeling better? And most clients, when I ask this question, they're like, well, I'm doing all the things. Okay, I know you're doing all the things. Good for you, high five, if that's what you're looking for, but are you feeling better? And so many of my clients are just stopping in their tracks going, well, I'm doing all the things. No, I know you're doing all the things. Take a step away from it. Take a step back and take a grander look. Do you feel better? And most are sharing that, oh, I haven't taken a hot second to think about that because I'm so hyper concentrated on doing all of the right things. And part of that narrowing of scope, or the reducing the things that I can do and tend, and I just need to do my list of 10 things and eat my 8 foods and it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be okay. Okay. We ramp up, how much of this, in all of this, how much do we ramp up the stress response in addition? And how much does this potentially lock us into that equation? Right? So much of what I do with clients, instead of doing this, we are perpetually taking a step back and widening the scope, in, having more types of foods, inviting more foods to the table, trying more foods and bringing joy to it, and not coming from a place of restriction, but rather from a place of curiosity and exploration, and going this way and going outwards because of the invitation of letting go of some of that tight holding onto the reins. The tighter we have to hang on to the reins, the more we're actually draining our adrenals. So part of what becomes the work when the adrenals have been asking for help, when the adrenals have been struggling, part of the work now becomes in noticing that, not shaming, not, oh God, I've been doing it all wrong. None of that. Instead, just shifting the gaze from this to what might it look like if we do this, and pulling the reins out a little bit and going for a wider scope. So this is a lot of what I like to do with clients. It's a lot of what we do in our classes as well. So if this is something that sounds familiar, this feeling of pushing through the symptoms, but I'm doing all of the things. Are you pushing through exhaustion still? Are you still having to like pull yourself up from the ground because it's really hard to stand up every day? Oh, are you wondering why you're having a hard time focusing? Are you wondering why you don't have any energy to get through the day? Where can you potentially start to loosen a bit of that grip and go a little bit more outwards and do this? One of the things that I want to give you as a potential piece to think about today, one simple thing that you can do right now. If this is you, if this is something that you've been struggling with, or you're like, oh my God, I I do that. I have done that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've done that in spades many different times in my life. And right now I'm working really, really hard. And it's a constant reminder. But one of the practical things that you can do is, yeah, take that step away. I'll tell you so much of this, no, but I'm hanging on really tight and I've got it all and I'm doing the things, is an indication that your adrenals are struggling. Every time your adrenals have to work, they need a list of ingredients and nutrients to get through that stress response. One of the main nutrients they need is something called magnesium, and it's something we'll talk about in the Good Food Network. But here's the super practical side of it. You don't even need to join us in the network for it. But magnesium is one of those minerals that when we start to supply it in good amounts into our bodies and we can get it into our system, it can be one of those helpers in letting us go of that tight hold of our reins. Do you know what I mean? Right? It's one of those nutrients. It's the calming mineral. It's the original chill pill. You can think of it that way. Do you know what foods have magnesium in them? In the many's, in the many, many molecules? Anything green from the plant world. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm going to throw you this challenge. Can you eat greens? Can you bring in greens to your everyday? I'll give you ideas. Yeah, of course, there's the original greens that we always think of automatically: spinach, kale, Swiss chard. But I want you to think outside of those boxes. Some people might not tolerate those well. Okay, no problem. That's fine. Do you know what else counts? Fresh herbs. God. You can put cilantro in all the things. You can use parsley all of the time. This is a good excuse to go out and buy some fresh dill and add dill to your roasted potatoes this week. Why not? What if you were to bring in arugula? Arugula is a really nice provider of magnesium that if you have histamine issues, shouldn't cause an issue. If you have liver stuff on the go, arugula is a really nice helper to that. Arugula is kind of the first green that comes up in the spring. I know it's going to start popping up in gardens where I am here in the Netherlands. Where you are might still be under a bed of snow, but it's coming. So in the meantime, if you can't find some of these fresh greens, go for those fresh herbs. Go for sprouts. Bring in pea shoots, bring in arugula sprouts, radish sprouts, broccoli sprouts, whatever type of sprouts you can find at the grocery store. They carry them in all grocery stores now. And it's a simple act of thinking you work in a fancy restaurant, mince, 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 put on top of the thing that you made for dinner. Like tonight, I'm doing a few tenderloins, pork tenderloins with potatoes and Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts count for the greens, but I could very easily mince up some parsley and toss that on top when it comes out of the oven. Or rosemary and bake it with it, and then that can be the provider of greens. So bring in something green on a regular basis over the next couple of weeks. Now you're going to be supplying your body with some of those ingredients your body needs to turn off the stress response. And one of those helpers to get you from this to this. So give it a shot. We're going to be talking about this in the network. We will be talking about it in that SOS mood and anxiety class as well. I'll share more strategies like this. This is how I operate, always on the practical level. But if you're wanting to join us in any of these things, or if any of the content I've shared today resonates with you, if you're curious to learn about any connection with things in your adrenals, whether it's a histamine or a mood or anxiety or anything else, I would love to see you in one of these live classes over the course of the month. They're a great way to get some clarity and start putting those pieces in place so you can start feeling better. And if you're not sure where to start, you just have to go back to the email that sent you this video, hit reply, or leave a comment below the video here. I'd be happy to help you figure out what makes sense for you. So small changes can really add up to some of those big shifts. So I always say this at the end of all of my classes: don your superpower. It is called consistency. Wear it proudly and keep doing the good work. I'm here to support you. I'll be here the whole time. I look forward to crossing paths with you at some point over the course of February. Take care, everyone. Salut et à bientôt.